What is up, everybody? It's Quick Joe here, back with another video. Today, let's talk about The Mandalorian. Alright, guys, last Friday was the season finale. I believe there was 8 episodes of The Mandalorian, and we learned that The Mandalorian has an actual name. It's not just Mandalorian. His name is actually Din Djarin. He was a foundling that was actually rescued by a group of Mandalorians called Death Watch. So technically, he's not what everybody calls a real Mandalorian. The real Mandalorians was actually an ancient species called Tong. But war and everything like that, they decided to open their ranks to non-Tong species. So Mandalorian is actually a way of life, kind of like Jedis, than it is an actual species. These are some of the collectibles I have recently picked up. We'll start off with the Black Series of Din. This is from like the episode 1. This is before he had gotten his Beskar armor. Din is actually played by actor Pedro Pascal. You might know him from Narcos or Triple Frontier. I believe they're both on Netflix. And he also was a character on Game of Thrones. Now this figure, you got the typical Black Series figure with all its bendable parts. A lot of articulation. He comes with his blaster rifle that has the little prong fork on there. I really wish the cape was a soft good other than this hard plastic, because there's a spot on his back where you can put the blaster rifle in. So you got this little strap supposed to go over here, and you got that little hole where you can take this part and put it in there, but the cape just gets in the way. It's hard to keep it in there, so I just have it put in his hand. And I have him going like he's, since the Mandalorian's kind of like a Western, so I have him in a little stance where he's getting ready to quick draw his pistol out. That's another thing I love about this show, is that it has like a little bit of Western into it, which I love Westerns. And I also love the Mandalorian story and everything. Not just this story, I'm talking about legends. A lot of this stuff is not canon per se, and canon is what they use to explain the motion pictures. All the movies and stuff is canon. All the literature and everything, which is, I say, is way better than canon, is all legends. Some other characters on the show was Carl Weathers. If everybody knows Carl Weathers, he was Apollo Creed in the Rockies. He plays Grief Kargan. He's like a bounty hunter guild leader. That's where Din goes to get his jobs. This show is actually written by Jon Favreau. If you don't know him, he plays Happy Hogan in the Iron Man films. He also voiced a character in this show called he was a heavy infantry Mandalorian. There's actually a pop coming out of that I'm going to want to have to get. And also the show is written by Dave Filoni. Now, if you don't know Dave Filoni, he actually worked on a lot of the animated Star Wars shows like the Clone Wars, Rebels, Resistance, and everything. And he even has a cameo. He's actually an X-Wing pilot called Trapper Wolf. Now, let's take a look at the common pop here. This was a thanks to Mr. Something Basic that hooked me up here. He's seen this in a GameStop. and he picked it up and sent it to me. You see here, you got the little blaster rifle on there. Again, this is before he got his Beskar armor. So you got the little doll helmet. I believe this is Dora steel. This is what a lot of armor is made out of. The box here, you see, he's got the signet back there. That's what you most notably seen on Boba Fett. And we all know now that that's not his signet anymore. It's actually the Mudhorn that the armorer gave him. And if you don't know, the signets are mostly what Mandalorians are made up of clans. I know a lot of people say that Boba Fett and Jango Fett ain't real Mandalorians. They say, well, since George Lucas said so, it's true. Well, fuck George Lucas. He went senile, so anything he says is uncredited because he sold his baby to the freaking devil. So Boba Fett and Jango, in my eyes, are Mandalorians. Now, it might not be Mandalorians in canon, but in Legends, they're Mandalorians because Jango Fett was actually saved as a young boy and was adopted by a group of Mandalorians that called themselves True Mandalorians, which was led by Eastern Maril. Now, in saying that, if you watch the season finale episode of Mandalorian, we all know that Din was actually saved by a group of Mandalorians that call themselves Death Watch. Now, that's saying that, Death Watch and the True Mandalorians were actually fighting each other. Because the Death Watch was actually ones that killed Jango Fett's family. And that's what had the True Mandalorians saved him. So, everybody's speculation that Boba Fett might show up on the show one day. So it's going to be interesting to see if there's going to be a kind of a rivalry, since Death Watch is what killed his father's, well, which killed his grandparents, and Death Watch saved him. So, you know, he was raised up by Death Watch, and then both are kind of enemies to one another. Now, there was some directors of the film, and celebrity directors and everything. Some of the directors was Bryce Dallas Howard, Deborah Chow, which she had a cameo as another X-Wing pilot, and of course Taika Waititi, which is the director of Ragnarok, and also voiced Korg. So he had his cameo in here, and he voiced the lovable bounty hunter droid IG-11, which was pretty much a good fan favorite, other than, of course, Baby Yoda. Actually, the child. Now let's take a look at the Funko Shop exclusive, or say the 2019 Fall Convention exclusive. And again, it's got the same back card of the Mythosaur skull. I'm glad I picked this one up when I did at the Funko Shop, because on PPG, this guy is actually running like $75. It's just a little bit different from its common. He's just holding his pistol out. A little hero stance, I guess you would say. And the blaster is actually on his back. See, that's how it's supposed to go, on his back. I just wish it would have fit like that on the actual action figure. The show is actually really good. I loved how it ended. It ended on a note where the armor pretty much said, hey, Din, you're going to be the father of Baby Yoda until you can find its rightful parents, or put him back where he belongs, since he's force sensitive. But I was really hoping that they have Baby Yoda join the Mandalorian rank. Baby Yoda wouldn't be the first actual Mandalorian Jedi. There was actually a couple Mandalorian Jedis. There was a whole group of Mandalorian Jedis at one point. But the first Mandalorian Jedi was actually Tar Vizsla. He was a Jedi back in the Old Republic days. Now, there's supposed to be a whole new line of Mandalorian Funko Pops coming out that, Jesus, I'm going to have to try to get at least all of the actual Mandalorian armored clad pops. Like I said earlier, there was the heavy infantry ones coming out. I think they have another covert Mandalorian pop coming. There is going to be an Amazon exclusive chrome a little bit. I don't think its whole body's chrome. I think the helmet's chrome to symbolize its Beskar armor. I did pre-order that one. That one's coming out in February. There is a GameStop exclusive Death Watch pop that I'm going to have to try to get. There's also one with him, with Din riding on a blurg, the little animal guy that, the little animals that the one dude that says, I have spoken. I think it was like the first or second episode. Well, that is it for today. Write down in the comments below if you actually watched this show and if you really enjoyed it like I have. I actually like this show a lot better than the new movie, I'm sorry to say. The new movie, Rise of Skywalker, was not very impressive to me. A lot of stuff was... I knew it was going to happen even without looking at spoilers or anything. It was okay movie. A nice little... they could have did some different things to end it. It was mostly for fanboys and girls, I guess, of some of the scenes and stuff they did in there. But overall, the movie was okay. It wasn't impressive. It's nothing like The Mandalorian is. I'm super excited for the second season to see where else Baby Yoda and Din's going to end up at. I believe it's been said that it's going to come back in the fall of this year. By the way, Happy New Year, everyone. Well, that is it. Let me stop rambling on about stuff. I can ramble on about Star Wars all freaking day. I know a lot of people don't like Star Wars, but hey, this is my thing. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike. It don't really matter to me. Yeah, until next time, I'll see you later. Peace!